Hey, we are live for the Washington Capitals, or actually, it's the Blackhawks at the Washington Capitals, as well as the Carolina Hurricanes at the Detroit Red Wings. So, just looking real quick, I'm trying to get both games loaded up. We are watching Washington for the sole purpose of seeing, if Ovechkin drops two, he ties the record. If he hat tricks, he breaks it. So, gonna watch a few Capitals games as the season's coming in, just so that we're here. Hopefully, when he ties and breaks the record, because that's just a moment in history you got to be around for. But taking a real quick look, the Hurricanes. We'll look at the side game first, which is Carolina and what is it? Carolina, Detroit. Carolina is more wins than losses, and they're averaging 4+ over their last like 10 games. So seems like they're coming out looking to score. I mean, just the last couple of games, 5, 6, 4. Then they lost with only one goal, and then 5, lost with 2, 3, 5, 4, 4, 4. I mean, they've been scoring, so it's going to be up to Detroit to try and beat them in goals. Let me look at Detroit's last couple games. Lost to the Blues in overtime 2-1, 1-2-1, lost 4-3, lost 5-2, won 5-1, lost 6-3, lost 4-1. So last time these two plays, the Hurricanes won 4-2 in Carolina. So my money, just looking on paper, I would take Carolina, maybe 4-2, 5-2 with an empty net, something like that. And then looking at the Blackhawks, they've lost 3-2, lost 5-2, lost 5-3, lost 5-3, won 7-4, lost 4-1, lost 3-1, lost 6-2, lost 6-2, 4-2, 3-0. Like, they haven't been doing great. I mean, we've seen a couple of wild turnouts because, what was it? It was Colorado playing. Who did they play the other day? I don't. It wasn't yesterday. It was Chicago, Colorado, Chicago, and Colorado won in the shootout. And I was expecting Colorado to swamp the Blackhawks, and that is not what happened. So anything could happen. However, this should be a 6-2 Capital victory with like an Ovechkin hat trick, and he breaks the record. I would not be surprised at any of that. There we go. Finally, the games are up. Well, never mind. Can't watch that game. Damn, they got both of the games locked. Never mind. All right. Well, while we're waiting on Washington, we do have puck drop in Detroit. I will unmute that one for the time being. Detroit controlling in the Carolina zone and sends it out of play. Let's take a look at the roster for these guys real quick. See who's in net. Kochetkov in net for Carolina. Talbot, I'm guessing. Yeah, Talbot in net for Detroit. Patrick Kane, okay. And then we'll see these goalies in a few minutes, but until the game starts, they won't have the roster ready. Bring this down here for the moment. All right, Detroit resetting, trying to get it back in. And right back out. I'm going to be very behind on these games just because of the feed it's coming through. So got to try not to look at the scoreboard too often on my phone. Pass all the way up. Carolina puts a shot on net. Catches Talbot on the... Talbot kind of went up with an elbow. And it actually, like, it was a fair enough shot from distance. Good enough save. But the bounce it took... It's one of those where if Carolina's crashing, that actually becomes a problem, but nobody was. He was, I didn't think he was offsides, but yes, he was. They're doing special announcements for special stuff down in Washington. What up, D? So while they're doing that, not a whole lot of setting up so far. Talbot out to play it. Johansson sends it around. And Detroit dumps it in on Chekhov. Chilling tight herself. I feel you, dude. Yeah, he kind of just fell over. I was worried they were going to try and call a tripping on that. I started going for walks again because I haven't been sleeping. Drinking a ton of coffee in the morning. Damn, dude, that puck got deflected at the opposite blue line and went out over Talbot's head. So Kochetkov gets the first one to get pressured. Nice, easy blocker save. All right, Carolina into the wing zone. Back behind the net, right back out. Detroit gets it out. Carolina gets the reset. Ooh. So almost a turnover at neutral, but Carolina throws it on net. Good save, Talbot. Puck bouncing around. Wings are going to get it clear. Offsides, yep. Did not get back in time. It's like, I don't mind Ovechkin. I got a lot of respect for him, a lot of respect for the record and what he's done in his career. Just not the biggest fan of Washington or him. So I would just, it's like at the same time, just hat trick it to break the record. That's one of the coolest things that you could do. Get a hat trick to break the goal record. Do it now. Do it against Chicago. Everybody's happy. Yeah, I haven't slept for shit last 2 days. Been up since around 2 today. Damn. But didn't have one stuff like there. I was just also, yeah, damn, that's rough. That was one of the things I was told. It's like, just start working out and go for walks, and you'll be tired. You'll sleep better. And it hasn't been the case. And Carolina gets back in. Nice pass. Shot from the high dot. Like, good save by Talbot, but this game isn't overly exciting, the Carolina-Detroit game. But, oh. So I'm just going to get drunk in the morning? Nice. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. I didn't realize they were doing the anthem already, so I missed the Knights chant, if there was one. I don't know how much love they get. Yeah, I actually want to do that. I don't want to get ripped, but just get a little buzz going. Probably closer to my birthday. Or on my birthday. Oh man, that's why I'm not a big fan of this feed. It always freezes up. And now they're both games are freezing up. Awesome. I gotta work next 3 days. At least it's Friday. Shit'll be busy. Yeah, at least get done with the day quicker. Don't have much time to sit around and think about how tired you are. All right, we finally face off in Washington. All right, I might have to actually choose one of these games. All right. Chicago working up the ice and the feed freezes. Oh, man, I wish NHL 66 was just working. It's always such good quality. Chicago getting it up to the point, high point, into the middle of the ice, throwing towards net. Puck kind of skirts low and is stopped. I believe it's Lindgren in net tonight. Chicago's able to keep it in from the high point. Low dot. Back across to the high dot. I think that's Bedard. Up across the point. Shoots it on net. And Lindgren with the save. We'll get a face off in the Washington zone. Yeah, I gotta figure something out because dude, names are blurry, numbers are blurry. And it keeps freezing up on me, the stupid thing. Oh, we got a delayed penalty. Detroit up with the extra attacker on. Gonna be a holding penalty to Detroit. Let's see it. Or sorry, to Carolina. I mean, Mott's kind of the one that was doing the holding. I guess you're gonna call it for that right hand, which I kind of disagree with. Oh, Chicago is getting pucks on net. Half expecting Washington just go storming back the other way and start getting busy. But so far, it's been very much Chicago controlling the puck. That was a good quick shot off a quick entry for Washington. Blackhawks back the other way. Low dot, low point, down the low wall. Oh, big spin throwing it on net. Lindgren's able to get the stop, but it definitely surprised him. Shit, it surprised me. Detroit on the power play. Let's see, 6 minutes gone in the first period. Shots are 4-2 Carolina. And then in Washington, 2 minutes gone in the first. Shots are 6-1. Chicago might just be 7-1 after that. Not sure if it got through or not. We're going to have to retry this maybe with just one games. So I don't know why 66 ain't working, but that's the one that's usually the good feed. I think Lindgren lost his stick. He did. Washington trying to get it out. They do. Quickly comes right back in. Lindgren did not have time to go get his stick. Washington is getting lucky that Chicago just can't put it through. I mean, Lindgren did a good job getting his pads down, stopping a couple of those shots, but Chicago had a big opportunity right there. They could not connect. Washington now in the Chicago zone from the middle of the point. It did not make it through the body. Chicago rushing back up the other way. And it's out of the zone. I broke down the computer a little, like took the fans down, pulled the GPU out, and like dusted it because we got an electric duster versus the cans of air. And holy shit, I did not expect it to be that bad. It was bad. I usually clean this thing, like deep clean it like once a month. And I've been a little lazy. And it was like, oh, okay, so that's why I've been having shutdown issues. Puck ended up out. Washington just went storming into the zone all the way up to the net and just ricocheted it. Oh, Lindgren went to play it behind the net and his stick got caught in the board. So he just dropped it and had to get back up front. I missed that. Never looked who was in for Chicago. So Knight's in for Chicago, Lindgren for Washington. And Ovechkin gets one. Oh, we are on watch. We are officially on watch. I'm going to do this. All right. Ovechkin needs one more. This is why we're here. And we still have 55 and a half minutes of hockey to be played. I really wish this wasn't lagging and buffering and being horrible. Damn it, and it just put me even further behind. All right, let's try something. See if this feed's any smoother. Washington's jumping in 29-6-3. Capitals are 29-6-3 when scoring first. I don't think Washington's going to oust them. But we are one goal away from an Ovechkin record. A Gretzky record that nobody ever thought would be broken. He doesn't know where the puck is. Washington's not able to follow up on the rebound. Good pressure. He came up to take the shot, but the screen was solid in front of Knight. He lost track of the puck and was looking into space as the guy came storming up the high side. Washington right back into the Chicago zone. Low point. At the net, good save. Knight off of the tip. Wilson got the tip, but he was able to get glued to the ice and get the pad save. Chicago now 3-on-2. Oh, and the puck bounces over his stick. Who is that? Maroon just misses on the wide open net off the bouncing puck. I want to give it up for Chicago. I want to see them do something. Like, I want to see the goal record, but I also want to see Chicago win. Because that means that there's going to be, for that to happen, the score is going to be like 6-5. So it'll at least be an exciting game. 12:47 to go in the first. Shots are 8-6. Who? I actually don't know. Okay, this one didn't. Nope, there it is. 8-6 Chicago. And in the other game, it is 9:45 to go in the first. Red Wings are up 2-0. What happened? 2 goals in 26 seconds. About a minute and a half after I cut the feed because of the lag, Detroit comes in and scores 2 goals in 26 seconds on Carolina. Yeah, let's see if we can get this game working. Come on, do the little window pop out thing. Chicago retreating back to the point. Washington just gets a good stick. Chicago's getting right back up into the zone, though. There it goes. Damn, Detroit's got 2 goals on 4 shots. Back behind Knight. Up the high board. Down to the low point. Middle of the ice. Tries to get a shot. Good stick out high. And that was Nazar. Shot from the high point goes out of play. All right, looking in on Detroit. 8.5 to go in the first. Shots are 5-4. Detroit with the 2-0 lead. Not necessary. I'm surprised by 2 goals in 26 seconds. I will absolutely say that. I'm not necessarily surprised by the score, but Carolina had, teed up every 2 different opportunities. The guy had it ready to go on the shot. He decides to pass, and then guy whiffs on the pass. That was just weak from Carolina. Now Detroit's right back in their zone, running shop. Oh, there you go. Can't do much with it, though, so he's going to dump and change. Wings setting out from behind their net. Carolina just laying on the pressure, which is good. They're going to need to. I didn't have the game up when they scored, so I didn't see the goals. But dude, Ovi's goal was nice, right from actually, from the left of the goalie, kind of right out high. He like buried it, bounced it back off of Knight's back, and then back in as Knight fell into the goal. And then he went absolutely ape shit, which I would too. Like I said, he needs 1 to tie, 2 to take it. And it as much. Say what you want about Ovechkin. I know I've got plenty to say about him. A hat trick to break the record would be insane. He's had 32 hat tricks, 1 against the Blackhawks. Like, come on. Get it done, son. It's like, come on, Ovechkin. Do it for your grandkids that are watching. .10:43 to go in the first. Shots are 8-6 Chicago. Face off goes to the Blackhawks. Moving them up the ice. Gets it deep, but Capitals right there to get it out. Ovechkin swings and misses, but it doesn't matter. Off a skate. Ooh, little bit of a trip there. Who's that? Valeno. Got tied up in the feet a little bit. Ovechkin's on the ice. That's headed right back the other way. He should be going for a change in a second. Back behind Lindgren. Caps head out. Wilson battles at the blue line. Eventually turns it over on the other side of neutral zone. Chicago gets it deep. First one back. But pushed off the puck, and Washington's coming right back out. Uh-oh, here we go. Storming in. Gets it across. Collision. Chicago guy takes out his goalie. It looks like they were both kind of waiting for the penalty to be called instead of hurrying up to get back up. But once they realized, like, play's still going, they got up in a hurry. Good job by Chicago to somehow get the puck away from the chaos and the mess. Oh, that was a great play right there. Who's that? Bertuzzi. Sticking his skate out and ripping the puck away right below the blue line to keep it in the zone. Washington headed right back out. Ooh! Leonard just took a solid shoulder. Here we go. Bertuzzi. Low point. Good job right there. Kept it in the zone. Get it back up the wall. There you go. Chicago coming around the net. High side. Lost it. Dude, Bertuzzi just smacked the shit out of old boy. Lindgren trying to play it. He'll get it out. And yeah, okay, I'll say it was offsides. I didn't realize anybody played it, but it definitely, it was close, but he did not keep it in. Going up to Detroit real quick. We got 5:17 to go in the first. Shots are 7-6 Carolina. Detroit with the 2-0 lead. Was the last time I played Fishing Planet? Dude, it's been forever. It's been quite a few months, for sure. That's one to do during I wish I would have thought about it because that would have been the one to do during fight nights. Like when we're all sitting around it, but I mean, I need to get some beer or some bourbon or something to sip on. But that's a good one when we're all sitting around just shooting the shit. Hell, that'd be fun, dude. Out instead of watching two games, just have fishing planted up and be doing just fishing while I'm doing the same thing I usually do for the hockey games. But yeah, I think I'll start doing that for fight nights. Actually, I totally forgot about Fishing Planet, which I think the 12th, right? And it last few days only because Josh downloaded, but we haven't been on it. Yeah, dude, I'm down to hop on that for sure. I get a kick out of that. Yeah, the 12th on next Saturday is uh what UFC 314 or is it 315? I want to say it's 314. 314. Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez and Michael Chandler versus Patty Pimblett and Bryce Mitchell versus Sean Silva. So, got some decent stuff in Canada when it gets to a point to go for Pike right on. Yeah, I'll have to re-download it. Cause yeah, that's a really good just hanging out shooting the shit game. It's gonna be off, but somebody couldn't work that day. Shit happens way too often. Yeah, yeah, it does. Oh well, just fish with Josh. Watch the fights while Tom pisses me off. Chicago all the way back, right up out of the zone. Borderline offsides, but Chicago gets in, gets it deep, tries to get it out front, and Washington picks it off. Capitals going the other way. Little battle behind Knight. Chicago gets it all the way up the low boards. Ovechkin's on the ice. Time to lock in. He tried to get it out front. He actually did get it out front. It just did not connect with his man. All right, let's watch a little Detroit, Carolina. Carolina does a good job stealing the puck inside the zone, but could not control it. And Detroit's headed right back out. Never mind, another turnover in neutral zone. Last couple times I've looked up, Carolina's been pressuring. All right, bringing it back down. Chicago deep in Washington zone again. And there it goes. We got a tie ball game in Washington. I was just as I'm saying that Washington spending a lot of time, or sorry, Chicago spending a lot of time in the Washington zone. It just kept developing all the way down low. Gets it to the high corner, back down below the net. A little bit of a chaos drill. And who's that? Number 5? No, Bertuzzi got the goal, and Slaggert. So Slaggert ends up getting the backhand across the crease, and Bertuzzi just snuck around the other side and buried it. Looked like a little cheap shot from behind by the Capitals. Dude went down pretty hard, but I didn't see it, so I got to assume. We'll see how it goes, but may not be there too much longer. May have a new opportunity in the near future. Either way, after June 1st, we'll be looking for different. No shit. Burn on this for a while anyway. Yeah, that's the thing, man. You do a good job. Everybody wants you there, but it's like, bro, you need a break. You can't be coming in all day, every day. Like, said, you either got to tell them, hey, every now, you got to get used to telling them no, or do exactly what you're doing, man. Looking for something else. Hopefully, you find something. Chicago goes right back into the Washington zone, but a good stick gets the puck back. You got a little bit of a break the other way. 3-on-3 evened up very quick, and a good stick. Who was that? Rinzel for Chicago made a very good stick play right there to shut down that shot. All right, looks like we're going to commercial. 4:43 to go in the first. Up to Detroit. Carolina breaking into Detroit zone and lost it. Sloppy, sloppy, sloppy. That's all I've really seen from Carolina. They've had a couple of good looking moments and then some sloppy stuff. Burns. Like, I know who that is. I just can't figure it out. Because he was a pain in the ass when he was in San Jose. But I mean, it is this guy. Like, I know you used to working at night and shit, but it's just all of that plus always having to go in, plus having to get shit done during the day. Like, it all groups together to be a real pain in the ass. And then on your days off, you've had to go in and do shit. Yeah, old GM finally got transferred back in town. Okay, when he got back into town, he said, Chance he wants to put a team together. Right on. That would be sick. Here you go, Detroit breaking into the Carolina zone. Good stick back the other way. Damn, dude. Rasmussen with a hard back check ends up winning the puck on the boards. Pez just got a job over there, but doesn't move over there for a few weeks. Jim already asked what I was gonna do. See, that's sick. That's awesome. It's like, bro, I'm gonna do whatever. It's like I'm gonna do whatever's best for me. So make it best for me, and I'll do what you want me to do. If you can't do that, then bye. That's about it. It's you've earned the right, especially when you have offers to be like, bro, make it worth my while or I'm gone. And how you do that is A, B, C, and D. And if they say, well, we can't do that, then you say, okay, thank you for the opportunity. Have a good one. And if they can, you go back to the other guy and say, hey, look, man, they want to keep me around and they offered me this, so you'd have to beat it. And you see if they can. Or you see if he's willing to. Carolina's established again in the Detroit zone. I mean, only 7 shots aside right now. Detroit's going to clear it out from behind the net. And work counting down to a minute left to go in Detroit. 2-0 Red Wings over the Carolina Hurricanes. And down here in Washington, we are at 4:23 to go in the first. Shots tied at 9 apiece. Score 1-1. Up and out of play. So back up to Detroit for the last 35 seconds. Carolina gets it in the zone. Good stop right at the blue line. And turnover in neutral sends Detroit right back in. Playing it a little loose. Detroit's not in a real big hurry, but if they start to get in a hurry, they could get a shot on net. They're content to just ride it out. Just kill the time. Puck goes down into the Detroit zone with 5 seconds left out in front of the net, just floating there, and Carolina's not able to get back. But it actually did stay in the zone right at the low point. Got back on net and went wide, and goalie never saw it. I was likely to start at what I make now, but with people I like to be around right. I mean, doesn't hurt to try and get an extra bit more. You know, like, I mean, even $1 more. I know it doesn't do much, but regardless, that happens. I'm going to start playing a place anyway. Right on. Ah, man, if you need to get out of there, you need to get out of there. All right, Washington into the Chicago zone, up on the high wall, high point, towards the net, gets stopped before it's able to make it all the way down to Ovechkin. It's now Chicago into the Capital zone, puts a shot on net, easy save for Lindgren, heads right back out of the zone, and now that was just that. I don't know what just happened there. That looked weird. Washington was going for a change, and Chicago could have gotten it in the zone or dumped it deep, and they just didn't. And they just kind of stopped playing, and then they went for a change, and then Washington went backwards. It was just, I don't know why that was so weird. So Herbies, I'm back, bitches. What up, Humpty? I thought I felt an itch coming. We are 1 away from Ovechkin tying the record. He came out and got it like 4 minutes into the game, got his first one. Man, you got to stop deleting these messages. They stay right there. Oh, shit. What just happened? Was that a high stick? It must. What just happened? Looking around at jobs in January, then people start leaving left and right, so I couldn't just bounce out at that time. I mean, you could have. You definitely could have, but I get what you mean by you couldn't. I definitely get you. So no call on a high stick, or they're over there. Nobody saw it. Wow, the refs actually got together with the line judges to make a call. That is soft as shit. That's a dive and a half from Chicago. What the? And they called a high stick on that? Wow. If you disappeared there, couldn't do that to him. Fair enough. That's the shit that ends up working out in your favor in the long run. Bro, do they really not have the penalty box a box? There's just a fence behind them. Oh no, there's the box and then the fence. I was like, what am I looking at? Yeah, that was. I mean, okay, so it was cool to have the refs get with the line judge to make a call, but they called a high stick when the stick was never even close. The guy kind of, sort of got kind of touched his face with his shoulder, and the dude flopped, but there was never a high stick. So what are we doing here? That's reacting to the players on the ice instead of reacting to what they saw, because they sure as shit didn't see a high stick. There's no way it wasn't even close to a high stick. I'm very confused. No, I'm not. The refs suck. What am I confused about? Anyway, Washington shorthanded going the other way. Under a minute to go in the first. The McNugget minute. All right. Free 6 peaks Nugget if they score in the last minute. Nice. Chicago sends it deep. 35 seconds. They got 53 on the power play. Up at the low point. Low dot. They miss. Goes all the way around. High corner. High point. Get some shots on net, fellas. Bedard looked like he just got high stick, but I don't think it made it to his face. And then he loses the puck. They had 12 seconds left, and he loses the puck. And then you got another turnover right away. 3, 2, 1. Got a shot off, but easy save by Knight. There's just heads up from the dot. Holy cow, Bedard fucked that up. I mean, it wasn't just Bedard, but he definitely messed that up, because he tried to make an extra little move and he lost it at the blue line. Again, you got 13 seconds. They had control of the puck from like 30 seconds to 13. They didn't even try to put a shot on net. You can't do that. You cannot take that much time to not shoot the puck. You killed the end of the period and a power play. Not good decisions. All right, what else is going on? All right, Wild and the Islanders are the only other game being played right now, since Hurricanes and Red Wings are halfway through their intermission, and this one just started. I guess we're stuck watching that stupid game. So let's watch that stupid game. I tell you what, let's see if it works on if this one works on this one. Nope. It's weird. Still 2-0. Yeah, they're halfway through first intermission. Wings up 2-0. Dude, the feeds. I was going through switching feeds, because the one I was on was just buffering like crazy. So I didn't watch for a minute and a half. I look at the score and it went from 0-0 to 2-0. It was like, what the hell happened? I look and it's 2 goals in 26 seconds. Like, okay, what? Right now we got 8:30 to go in the first in New York. Oh, nope. I'm a little behind on this feed, so we're about to go to the power play. 8:34 to go in the first. Shots are 5 apiece. Islanders going to the extra man. John Hillbilly Merrill headed to the box. You know what? I'd rather burn one this. I was going to wait and have a smoke it during the next intermission and hang out and watch during this intermission. But I figured that Carolina. I was hoping Carolina then would be back already. I can't watch Minnesota, New York Islanders. I just my interest level just happy to be here. Right into Minnesota, New York. So I'm actually gonna take the time now since Carolina and Detroit are 10 minutes ahead on their intermission, 10 minutes ish. By the time we hit second intermission, we should be, only like a 3-4 minute wait, and they'll start their third period. So I'm gonna take advantage of the time now, and burn first always, always. So I'm gonna hit the BRB screen, timers up, and then we'll come back for the start of the second period with the Blackhawks in the Capitals, and the start of the second period for Hurricanes Red Wings. See you guys in a minute. All right. You're right, Humpty. Never, never, ever miss. Go ahead and kill that intermission timer. Make sure that's reset. There we go. All right. So we are back and have a score update. In Detroit, Carolina has put one on the board to make it a 2-1 game. Was it Jackson Blake with an assist from Jarvis? Oop, did not mean to do that swipe. So when we come back, we will have Chicago with 21 seconds left on a power play. Looks like we are coming back to the ice. Who's the backup for Washington? Because that ain't LT. Shepard. Okay. All right, getting ready to go. We'll be keeping an eye on that Detroit Carolina game. I mean, it's a bummer that there were two good games at 4 o'clock. Well, I wasn't expecting Washington, Chicago to be a good game like this. I thought Washington would stomp Chicago, and that's not what's going on. But it's Ovechkin watch, man. It's one goal from tying the record. So knew we had to be here for this, and then knew that Detroit, Carolina, or didn't know, but figured Detroit, Carolina would be good. Oh shit! As I'm just talking, Chicago gets into the Washington zone just at the end of their power play and gets one past Lindgren. Let's see that again. My rambling took me off of what was going on. The pass came from the high point, or sorry, the high dot, and Nazar's right in the middle, and he gets just past the reach of the stick. Who's that? Dowd. Dowd thought he had him, but Nazar just reaches right past the stick and whips it cross body, cross corner. Yeah, this is not how I thought this game would go at all. And offside Chicago. Carolina in the Detroit zone. Ooh, a little reverse hits, get some space, backhand. Good save, Talbot. Just stands up tall on the post. Carolina still has it in the zone. Works it around, trying to get it centered. Goes to the point. Shot off a stick. Down to the low corner. Midpoint. High dot. Another shot, Talbot. Good save. Right back out to the point. High dot. And Detroit still can't get it out. Carolina misplayed a couple bounces, or the bouncing puck a couple times. So that gets it out, but it's an icing. Face off back in the Detroit zone. Back down to Washington. Chicago gets across the blue line, immediately turns it over. Washington headed up, and it buffers. Come on, man. All right, nothing happened. Damn, dude. It looked like something was just. Oh, come on. This is the only game buffer, and the other game's fine. Oh, Chicago. Oh, come on. Let's try away and see if this feed's going to be any better. Chicago made a great play to steal the puck off of the stick or off of the pass, but it buffered and it went away. Said 66 ain't working for some reason, which is a bummer because that's the best quality, least amount of delay feed. All right, we're starting to get some contact. Washington's starting to lose their cool now that they're down by a goal. Man, you got to stop deleting your messages, bro. They're all right there. Ovechkin just going across the top of the dots. Couldn't decide if he wanted to shoot or not. And he's back off the ice. Looks like we went puck into the box, face off into center dot. I know it's going to be a neutral, but it looks like they're pointing to the center dot. Man, who that? Nazar. And then there's 98. So it has to be 98. That had to be Bedard. I thought it was 88. Washington controlling in the Chicago zone. Oop. Chicago couldn't get it out right up front. Knight makes a good pad save. The rebound hits bodies out front. Washington's able to get control. Good pressure in the low corner. Chicago's kind of going up there and throwing their weight around. Washington down. Low wall, low point, high dot. Shot hits bodies out front. I don't know if the first shot made it tonight. I think it hit a body out front, but then there was a real soft follow-up that Knight was able to cover. And then bodies came crashing down on him. Yeah, this is the one I'm looking for. Yeah, Radish ends up getting the soft on the ground rebound. Washington controlling. Sorry, looking up to Detroit real quick because Carolina has a minute left on a power play, and they're controlling in the Detroit zone. Shot from the low dot goes all the way around and out. Knight plays the puck out. Bedard headed up the ice. Barely on sides, but it is, and Bedard hangs on to it a little too long. Washington heads back the other way. Ooh, good stick. Chicago's got some good sticks, man. They're knocking passes away very, very well. Not a whole lot of getting set up happening. Here they go. Storming in from the high side. Around the net. Not sure who that was that just ate ass trying to cut across the front. Chicago throws it towards the net. Hits bodies out front. Washington heading back the other way. Real quick, Detroit's going to clear. Carolina's got 20 seconds. This is their last drive on their power play. Washington breaks in. Wilson throws it back to the center of the ice, and a big shot goes wide. Yeah, Detroit shut down the Carolina power play. Now Washington coming out of their own zone. Down around the back of the net, out to the front. Big shot. I think that might have hit homeboy right in the face. He went down. I don't even think he went down to block the shot. He just went down. And puck came right at him. Chicago back in their zone, kind of falls down as he tries to clear the puck. Bodies going everywhere. Washington shoots, gets bodies out in front. Puck to flex high corner. Caps still have the puck from the center of the ice, shooting, hits bodies out in front to flex high. Another shot, kicked out. Another shot blocked high. Another shot goes wide of the net. I think there's been 6 shots. Maybe one of them actually made it tonight. Oh, snap. Detroit just went up 3-1. Dude, Washington keeps trying to get the puck to the net. It's just not quite making it there. Dancing around, good shot, and it finally leaks through Knight. And who was that? Was that Tom Wilson sneaking around the backside? No, it's not. Oh, hell no. I ain't even going to try and say that name. Oh, Patrick Kane scores for Detroit. That was just a great move to get between people. McMichael just coming down from the high dot. Makes a great move to get past everybody. Puts the shot on Knight and ends up creeping through. And then the guy whose name I don't even want to try and say was just at 42. Was in perfect position to just come in from the side and stuff it in. Oh, shit. Dude, I just realized that I didn't change the score and Chicago just added another one. What is happening? Damn. Got a goal in each game, it looks like. Chicago just gets straight into the zone. Lindgren got the glove. I think what happened is he got it with the glove as he fell forward, and I think he thought he had it. And then all of a sudden it dropped out in front of him. And who was it? Who was it? Kurashev. Just driving the net. Puck ends up loose right in the crease, or right in front of the crease with the goalie on his stomach. That's why I keep preaching during the Golden Knights games. It's pucks to the net, bodies to the net. But yeah, now halfway through the Detroit-Carolina game, Detroit's up 4-1. They just had 2 goals in, let's see, 21 seconds. So their first 2 goals were 26 seconds apart. And their last 2 goals were 21 seconds apart. That is insane. Man, Chicago just immediately. And then this was, let's see, 7, 19, 10 seconds after Washington ties it up. Chicago comes back and takes the lead. 3 back-to-back goals in 2 different games in less than a minute of total time. Chaos. 10:50 to go in the second. Shots are 15-13 Washington, but the Blackhawks have the 3-2 lead. Washington breaking into the zone, but the pass goes off a Chicago skate, and now the puck's back in the Capital zone. It just, a lot of that happening for Washington. They've been a lot better about getting opportunities and setting up, but dude, Patrick Kane just came storming up the low dot. And then Rasmussen just coming in tight on the goalie and putting a backhand past Kucherov that just, or is that who's in that for? I know I already looked at it, but Kochetkov. I always say that. There are certain names that I absolutely will mess up, and Kucherov and Kochetkov are two of them. But, I mean, he just beat his ass. Yeah, because Talbot's in for Detroit. Okay. All right, commercial breaks. They're cleaning up the ice on both sides. See what's happening with Minnesota, New York. Oh, exactly what I expected. Nothing. It's a 0-0 game. First intermission. They're just getting ready to come back out for puck drop in that one. All right. So tomorrow, 7 o'clock, Golden Knights in Calgary against the Flames. Kind of want to watch the Rangers and the Devils, but I may just watch that one. Just wake up and watch that one for me. Let's say Penguins and Stars going while I'm at the gym. That'll be enjoyable. Or the end of the Panthers at Ottawa. Getting that in during a workout, that should be fun. Oilers and the Kings play at 1. Ooh. Got a couple of good afternoon games. So depending on what, that's the only thing is I've got can't miss the gym, and that's 1 o'clock-ish. So makes it hard to watch those games. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. See if I end up jumping on for a game. Maybe one of the early ones. I don't know. We'll stick with the only plan being Vegas, Calgary at 7 p.m. tomorrow, and then Vegas at Vancouver, 7 p.m. on Sunday. All right, Chicago wins the face-off in their own zone. Good pressure. They get it out. Capitals lose the puck in their own zone, but get it right back. Pucks into skates and sticks. That's what Chicago's been doing well with. But, right up front. Oh, man. I don't even know if that got through tonight, but that was just finesse on all sides. No real attack plan from anybody. A lot of just kind of All right. Chicago just iced it. The puck was just kind of bouncing around right out in front of the net, and nobody could hit the puck. When they finally did, it was light touches. Washington gets it now in the Chicago zone. Blackhawks can't clear. Caps at the low dot. Ooh, swing and a miss. Caps get it back. Low dot. Kicked out. Saved by Knight. Pressure behind the net. Ovechkin has it down the low corner. Back to the point. Thrown at the net. Back to the low corner. Wilson with it, trying to move. Chicago can't get it out of the zone. Ovechkin gets it to the high point. Back to Ovechkin on the high dot. Pass. He had him, just couldn't control the pass. Couldn't get the tip towards the net. Looks like Carolina might have just cut the lead down. Ooh. Just got abused. He just got bullied. Chicago almost had a break down the ice. But we do have a score. Carolina just made it 4-2. So they have a chance. 7:13 to go in the second period of that game. Chicago down in the Washington zone. High point. Low point. Middle. Up to the high wall. High dot. Thrown towards the net. Hits bodies. Kind of finds its way through, but a lot of swing and missing. Big shot. Hits bodies out front and a swing and miss on the rebound. Chicago throws it at the net again. And it looks like Lindgren was able to glove that one. Chicago doing a lot of threatening, but Capitals doing a lot of bullying. And if it's going to be a body battle or, a wall battle, Washington's just kind of going at them, doing what they do, just trying to kick their ass. Chicago's doing a really good job, honestly, just not taking the shit. Like, they're going at it with them, initiating a lot of contact. I am very surprised by this game. Again, you go right back to the beginning. I thought it was going to be 6-1 Capitals, Ovi with his hat trick. And we're sitting just over halfway through the game with Chicago taking the lead 10 seconds after the Capitals tied it up. Like, Washington hasn't had a lead all game. That's nuts. All right, Detroit heading into the Carolina zone while we're at a commercial break here in Washington. Carolina turns around and goes right back the other way. Big shot up front. Bodies send it to the high corner. Detroit able to get it out. No, they were not. Okay, now they were able to get it out. Yeah, it's going to be offside. Hit the guys he was trying to clear. Damn, dude, this picture's blurry as shit, so I'm trying to see who else is on the squad for 2024 juniors. I wouldn't have a clue. I thought it was going to be at least a little bit older than that. Actually, just real quick. Yeah. Still waiting on that Washington power play, because then we're really on record watch. Dude, Chicago is just going. Dude, why are they. That should be a Chicago power play right there. Like, what the fuck? Dude lost his balance as far as I saw. Like, what the hell just happened? Dowd had no idea what was going on from the look of it. He just got up and was like, oh, okay, I'm going to grab you now. What the hell just happened? As far as I saw, the Washington player fell. Like, he lost his skates. And then they just started jumping everybody. See, Washington can't handle when they're losing, man. They go. Like I said, if dude did something dirty, I'll be the first one to call it. But I did not see what the problem was. Yeah, that I have no idea. Like they both go to stop. Nazari immediately goes to check on him, but they both go to stop. The guy just didn't stop, or Nazar just didn't stop quite as fast, and so he ends up in the boards. But there was nothing dirty about that. That's got to be a Chicago power play. A couple guys to the box plus a Chicago power play. How is that a slashing on Nazar? So they made up a slash right there because that sure as hell wasn't a slash. And then the last call, the Chicago power play, they got together and called high stick when the stick wasn't even close to dude's head. The guy kind of caught him in the chin with the shoulder. So that is two made up plays based on the reactions of the guys on the ice. That is absolutely insane. I just I'm blown away by what I just witnessed. Well, let's see if Ovechkin's gonna get his power play goal because this is what I've been waiting for. Chicago clears. Meanwhile, up in Detroit, 4.5 to go. Shots are 21-14 Carolina. Carolina trying to get another one in. Not quite, but they still controlling the zone. Scores 4-2 Detroit. Minute gone in the Capitals power play. And we're at 6:10 to go in the second. Shots are 17-15 Washington. Wilson gets it in right to a white jersey, and they're going to dump it all the way back. 30 seconds on the power play. Dubois, see, this I like this, having the name. Ovechkin shoots, and it does not. I think he missed the net. Ovechkin gets it to the low point, low dot. Probably should have turned and shot, but he went for the pass across the low dot, and it just did not work out. Chicago made a good move. Said, we're waiting. Ovechkin shoots, misses the net. Everybody's trying to give him the puck. You got to love it. Back to full strength. Big shot from Chicago, misses the net. Had a couple of big shots, but no shots added to the counter. Washington headed out. Battle along the low boards. Washington wins it for the moment. I got to give it up for the fight in the Chicago players because they are playing to their competition for sure. All right, Detroit's going on a power play with 3:10 to go in the second. Knight's going to play it all the way up. Does not make it out. Washington's able to keep it in on the low boards. Chicago gets it out. And he falls as he's trying to get up the ice. Caps just right back into the Hawk zone. And the puck right back out into neutral. Like, they're getting across. They got the puck in the zone. Not necessarily for very long. But they're getting it in the zone. And then Chicago's just kicking it right back out. And then Chicago's just struggling to get it across the blue line at all. Carolina about to make some moves, and the pass just misses. All right, this Chicago Washington is a tennis match at the moment. But honestly, so is Carolina Detroit. Ooh, there we go. Puck in front of the net. Knight does a good job not to get stuffed right there. Puck comes in. Washington offside, so Blackhawks moving it up ice. Chicago's across the blue line. It's the first time they've been able to have any kind of time in there. You go high point at the net. His body's out front of the crease. On the wall behind the net. And Washington's going to come away with it. High dot, high corner, back across the crease. Nobody there. Chicago's going to get it deep. All the way around the boards. Swing it down towards the net off of Lindgren. High corner. Carlson kind of flubs under the pressure, but he's able to get it to a red jersey. Makes it a second round. Oh, yeah. Like, there's a good chance that, like, it's Winnipeg, Washington for the cup. And the game they played a couple weeks ago was fantastic. So, you know, if that actually does happen, it'd be a really good series. I'm actually surprised they didn't get called for too many men because they oh shit, no. I just got it. I had an itch on the top of my head and I immediately got a chill. That was weird. All right, so we got the end of the second in Detroit, and we're about to hit the end of the second here in Washington. Under a minute. Big shot from up top. Knight with a big save. Knight doing a pretty good job. He's let up two, but I can't believe that like I said, after what happened, Washington ended up with the power play. That was obnoxious. It's I like I said, I could see it being Winnipeg, Washington. Oh. Now, of course, I don't want it to go that way. However, if I'm being honest, especially, hang on, let me look at something real quick. Uh, See, that's one of the big things is LT is hurt. Missly's cut, injury. Oh, so I guess when he left after allowing 3 goals. He had an upper body injury. Dude, LT is 31-6-6. But I didn't know he was hurt. Yeah, Jets are at 108 points with 6 games remaining. Caps need to win a couple because I can see the Jets doing a pretty good job of winning on their way out. Ovechkin just goes over the net for like the 4th time. He keeps missing high, but shout out to him going for those upper corners. OV again, but he misses the puck. He wasn't able to gather it in. Now it's back in the Washington zone. Man. OV just goes across the crease. All right. We got the end of the period. OV got it right between the dots and went right over the top. No LT, no playoff runs. Sorry to shit on your team. It's eh, is what it is. Our biggest saying is we ain't gonna score enough. I could see losing a lot of games by 2 goals. So the Islanders are up 2-1 on Minnesota. They got 10:30 to go in the second period. And it's like, dude, I don't disagree with you if we're being real. Islanders over to the high point, driving in between the dots up to the high corner. Behind the net, trying to get it out front. What just happened? Islanders end up sending themselves out of the zone. Islanders resetting in their zone. Up and out. Guys are skating all over the place. Just not a whole lot's happening. Like, it's a lot of chaos. All right, Minnesota headed into the Islanders zone. Pretty good shot from a tough angle on the low dot. Islanders right back out the other way, but a good back check. Oh, that dude should have his. That dude's in trouble. If he's allowed to stay on the ice, that dude is in serious trouble because that was a bullshit shove and he just put Middleton into the boards. I'm surprised if Middleton didn't just break his neck. Whoa. Whoa. That was bullshit by Horvat. That's the same. I mean, he immediately was like, oh shit, I'm sorry. But Horvat needs to watch himself because, I mean, Middleton probably be the dude that wrecks his ass, but he just hurt Middleton bad. Dude, that is nasty. Like, I mean, I'll give it. Horvat definitely does. That's not the reaction of a guy who meant to do that, but still, that was that was similar. Maybe not as bad as what happened to Hurdle, but that was similar to what happened to Hurdle, except Middleton just went head first into the boards. That was not okay. I The refs did good to be around so that Horvat didn't get his head taken off, but nobody else was there. Everybody was changing while Middleton was going at the puck with them. Ooh, yeah, that one was not good. Not a fan of that. Try and get They are on commercial break. Once we get set up, we'll have Detroit and Carolina back up on the second screen. It's not much of a game, but it's a much better game than it was not all that long ago. Because Detroit got it to 4-1, but now Carolina made it a 2-goal game. And right now, let's see, we got 8:56 to go in the second period in New York. Islanders beating the Wild 2-1. Shots are 17-14 Minnesota. Minnesota now going on a power play. Yeah. It's the same thing with Hurdle. That should be a major penalty. The hit with Hurdle should be a major penalty. They're kicked out of the game. And then when it's reviewed, Horvat can come back. Once Middleton comes back, Horvat gets his 1 or 2 game suspension, and then he can come back. Like, there needs to be punishment for shit like that, whether he meant to do it or not. I mean, Middleton was barely able to stand up as he's leaving the ice. Now it's like, all right, somebody either needs to go out and fight Horvat, or someone needs to catch him with his head down coming across the middle of the ice. Minnesota on the power play. Puck goes straight up in the air, comes down under Islander control, but Minnesota fights it back. Sends it up to the high corner wide of the net. To the high point. Only Islanders back. 45 seconds gone on the power play. Islanders don't get it out. Wild able to control it for about half a second. And then New York sends it back up the ice. I don't know what I'm looking at up there, but dude, Islanders are just beating the shit out of Minnesota on their own power play. Holy cow. Minnesota in, but under a whole lot of pressure, and the Islanders send it right back down the ice. 30 seconds on the Minnesota power play. All right, Minnesota finally set up in the Islanders zone. 15 seconds left on the power play. 7 minutes to go in the period. Shot goes high up over the net. Islanders storming back the other way, shorthanded for only another couple of seconds. And the penalty is up. So he gets it in, can't control, but it stays in. That's about how that's been going. Like Minnesota somehow gets it in, and then they somehow keep it in. Yeah, dude. Went put his stick down to try and stop the puck, and the guy just swung at the puck, took the stick right out of his hand, and swung it up and around the corner of the ice. Islanders get it deep. Minnesota gets it right back the other way. Islanders in the wild zone. Dude, New York is doing a hell of a job controlling the puck. Barely kept that on sides. Gets right. Oh, if dude, I don't know if that was Engvall right there, but if he turned and shot, because Minnesota collapsed and completely overplayed the puck, so he could have turned and just ripped one, but he passed. He passed out to the guy crashing in. And I mean, that's not a bad decision, but just because it happened so quick, I don't think he realized how much space he had. Yeah, great pass up. Great to even make contact. Puck coming behind you makes the backhand contact. Back to back icings from the Wild. Face off back in the Minnesota zone. Dude, shots are 23-14 Carolina. But Detroit has 4 goals on those 14 shots. Obnoxious. Swing and a miss trying to keep the puck in at the blue line. It's got to be it's getting warmer, guys. Damn. Puck goes off the post from the center of the point. Those long range shots going in or getting close always is like, wait, what just happened? That's not supposed to happen. Especially when nobody's around the net. Islanders back into the wild zone. There's like a lot of stuff happening, but not a lot of stuff happening. Not a lot of opportunities. The shots are the exact same as when we first pulled this game up. It's like, thankfully, we only have a minute until the Detroit Carolina game comes back. Shot from the high point. Yeah. Low corner, high corner. Islanders not able to get it. I said Minnesota's doing good to keep it in the zone, but it's not developing much. Here we go. Boldy doesn't get it towards the net. He decides to turn around and make a pass. That's not great. Islanders couldn't settle the puck. They had the advantage. He could not flatten the puck out. Too many bodies in the shooting lanes. Oh, big tip out high on the dot. Islanders have been kicking the shit out of the Wild since I started watching. Gustafson thought it went in. He laid there a little too long. Islanders keep hitting bodies out front. Think Gustafson finally made a save. Dude shoots. Oh, the Wild puck came out in Wild favor, and it just did not work out. So close, though. Starting to get to be a little bit more exciting of a game. Just under 2 minutes to go in the second period. Shots are still 17-14. And I am at least 40 seconds behind. Remember, depending on what happens tomorrow, there may be 2 games we watch, but at the very least, we will be here for the Golden Knights at Calgary. 7 o'clock tomorrow. All right. As exciting as this game has been, we're gonna go ahead and watch Detroit, Carolina till Washington, Chicago gets back. Oh, we got 220. All right. Hand pass. Stoppages. Damn it. Oh, let's do this. Yeah, we'll get rid of the intermission timer. Need that for a minute here. So a lot of back and forth to start off the second period. A lot of stoppages right off the bat. Detroit sends it in. Keeps it in. Oh, and a lazy one-handed play from Carolina. Detroit still has it, but a good follow-up. Hurricanes go back the other way. They're going for a change, so it's 1-on-5 at the moment, but help soon arrives. Wings get it out. And Carolina goes right back the other way. Battle on the low boards. Detroit's going to get right back out of the zone. Let's see how far they get. They made it across the blue line. Nobody is controlling the puck in this game right now. Carolina behind the net gets it to the high dot. Goes all the way around the low dot. Burns puts it on Talbot, who swats it to the low corner. Locked up in the low corner. Fighting, and we're out. Detroit ends up with it. Nope. They're going to call him for a penalty. I'm curious. Did they get a hold on him or what? as we come back for a puck drop. Interference. I'm slightly confused by what the penalty was. I'm not gonna lie to you. But Carolina on the power play. Let's see if they can actually put it to some use. And we are back in Washington. Keeping an eye on Detroit. Oh, Carolina puts it up over the net. Detroit cleared. Ooh, Caps hit the ice hard all the way across the ice. The pass was just ahead. I can't believe he didn't get a stick on that puck. And then Bartuzzi was going to make sure he didn't miss that one. Ended up swinging about a month early. Puck keeps going out in front of that Washington crease, but Chicago's just not. And there he finally gets it on target, but Lindgren gets the save. Back to Detroit. A minute left on the Carolina power play. Aho looking back to the point. Shoots. Big blocker save, Talbot. Carolina keeps control. High point. Down low. Back to the high dot. Back down low from the high dot. Talbot gets a good save. Detroit clears. They'll reset with about 30 seconds on the power play. Face off to the right of Lindgren. Washington comes away with it. Gets it out. Dumping it deep and chasing. Bedard probably should have gotten called for a hold right there. I'm not going to lie. And Chicago dumps it deep into the Washington zone. Washington's going to get it out up along the low board. Missed the pass. And Chicago right back the other way. The tennis match has begun. Chicago doesn't get it out. Good job keeping it in. Gets it down below the net, looking to center it. All the way to the point. Shot. That that looked like it could have been goalie interference. Knight definitely played it a little more than he should have, or maybe not should have, but then he probably needed to. But oh, big pad save. Knight doing a great job helping the Chicago Blackhawks keep the lead. He has made a couple of great saves tonight. And Carolina, for the second time, I believe, does not score on the power play. That was a goal they needed big time. 5 minutes gone in Detroit. Shots at 26-14 Carolina. Detroit leads 4-2. And down here, we got coming up on 3 minutes gone in the third. Shots are 2018 Washington with the Blackhawks leading 3-2. There's no way you don't say that was incidental. Blackhawks are going to the box again. I'll have to see it again. I could be wrong, but I just don't think there's any way you don't call that incidental. Oh, nope. Maroon tripped him. He absolutely stuck his blade out. He absolutely stuck his leg out, put his skate on his heel, and tripped him. All right. Minnesota and New York made it to intermission with the Islanders up 2-1. And we're about to see some magic. I forgot how far behind I was. And let's see if it's Ovechkin. Because I already spoiled it for myself. I'm watching them. It was not Ovi. Who was it? Kurashev. I think he got the first one. No, Ovechkin got the first one. Where did I see him? They must have updated a goal because I swear he had one of the earlier goals. Well, that one's on Maroon. He shouldn't have tripped the guy. It ended up going off a Chicago stick trying to save the day. Yep. Who was it? It was number 5 for Chicago. Murphy. He ends up getting the own goal. Damn, total chaos drill after one of the Blackhawks falls down behind his own net. Got an icing on Chicago, but absolute chaos happening in the arena in Washington. Talbot's skating around all jacked up. Protus is going off. What happened to him? I have no idea what the hell happened to him there. That was very odd. Chicago, what a glove save, Lindgren. Bertuzzi came across the top of the crease, up tight, put it high, and Lindgren snatched it. That was a great play by Bertuzzi. Okay, so he didn't get it that high. He got it to about here, but the Lindgren reacted. It actually kind of would have been sick for him to tap it back and let old boy shoot it just because he had a better stance. But Bertuzzi did a hell of a job right there. Lindgren with just a great glove save. All right. Knight's playing it behind his net. Bedard just gave it up, but Washington whiffs on it. Bedard he is going to get called for that hold. He absolutely did grab him. I don't think he really affected him, but he absolutely did grab him. Can't be doing that stuff, man. 4-3 Washington. Yeah, he absolutely affected him. Leonard ends up grabbing onto Bedard's leg, but Bedard hugged him around the waist and then immediately went over the top around his shoulder. Can't do that one. Washington power play back at it. 1 for 2 on the night. Their only shot going in. They control in the Chicago zone up to the high point. Ovechkin just chilling, getting forgotten about. It's what he does, man. Oh, he tried to get it to the high point so that dude could shoot it right down low to Ovechkin, but it didn't connect. It's funny knowing that. I mean, with Washington, Ovechkin's always the goal, so it's funny to watch. He does it. We will give him the goal buzzer for that. Where is it? Oh. Okay, there it is. We will give him the goal buzzer for that. We were here for the tie. Let's see if he hat tricks to get the win. Gotta update it. Whoops. I had to share the moment for a second. Alex Ovechkin ties the greatest player to ever play the game, Wayne Gretzky, at 894 goals. I want to do something. Nah. It's going to take too long. I should have had that ready, actually, now that I think about it. Update the thumbnail to just be Ovechkin gets 894. $894 goals over a 78-year career. Ovechkin's been playing since ice was discovered, but he gets 894. He ties the record, and now it's a matter of time before he breaks the record. And he does it in Washington. Unreal. I said the only thing better is for him to get a hat trick and break the record with a Hattie in Washington. All of it. And they got the big 50, so I'm guessing it's the Capitals' 50 year. Yep. So he does it in the 50-year season at home from the place that he scored a quarter of his goals. Just everything about it so far has been fantastic. Like I said, I'm not a Capitals fan, not much of a Washington fan at all. I don't like Washington, but the guy has tied, he's in the books with greatness. So no trip. Okay, I'm surprised there wasn't a trip call there. All right, puck's going to go all the way back. Lindgren slows it down. 12 minutes to go in the game. It's another reason I really hope that Ovechkin hat tricks to break the record because I don't want to watch more Washington games. But I absolutely will to see number 895. It's wild, man. That's what we were here for. I mean, he took that puck right on the low dot, right where he does that. Just insane. Yep, there it is. They're showing it up on the Detroit game. CK. Yo, Mercs, what's up, buddy? Yep. We were here to watch the tie. Now we're here. Like I'm saying, man. I'm hoping he hat tricks to set the record. I'm not necessarily an Ovechkin fan. Got a lot of respect for him, but I'm not necessarily like a fan. I'm not a Washington fan, but dude has you got there's nothing that I can say except for very great, respectful, like complimentary things about hitting 894. And I'm hoping he hat tricks to hit 895 because that would be cool as shit. Wayne Gretzky in the house to watch Ovechkin tie it. Have him in the house to watch a hat trick and break it. While that's happening, Burns from Carolina shoots from the point, gets a tip right out in front of the crease, and ends up beating Talbot to pull that game within one. Detroit is leading 4-3, 7:16 to go in the third. Carolina leading in shots 29-16. It's TV. I'm blacked out. No, sir, I cannot. Sorry about that. Been burning out on the ice since the start of this game. I'm not leaving the rink until this game is over. My wife needs to help with the kids. Exactly, Mercs. Yeah, sorry, Edwards. I cannot do that. I'm struggling enough to get started. I don't need a copyright strike. The face off to the left of Chicago. Ovi's hungry. He's moving more than he's doing already. Copyright? Yeah, copyright strike for showing an NHL game on YouTube. No, they will absolutely strike. Couldn't join the stream earlier. Forgot all about it. No worries, Mercs. Like I said, you know me, man. If you're not around, no worries. If you are, cool. And Detroit's attacking on Carolina as well, but definitely have the focus down here in Washington. Bedard up the ice. Low dot. Shoots. Glove save Lindgren. He's going to freeze it. And Carolina just did the same. Got a shot on Talbot. Talbot gloves it, and he's going to freeze it. In Washington, 10:56 to go in the third. Shots are 25-20 Washington. Had to wait for them to get done with the replay. Face off to the left of Lindgren. Chicago wins it. Gets it down low. Little battle in the corner. And Chicago still keeps it in. Sent it all the way down around to the high corner. We're right back where we started. Puck to the high point. Low point. Shoots. Looking for the deflection. It does not connect. Washington gets it for the moment. Gets it out. And misses Leonard. Right in the middle of the ice. But he's just going to ride that all the way down and bury old boy into the boards. Shit, I forgot I wanted to watch Minnesota, New York to see what, if anything, happens to Horvat. Because that hit to Middleton was bullshit. Dude, Chicago got so close to breaking in now. That was offsides. Okay, it doesn't matter. Puck's getting frozen by Knight, but that definitely looked offsides. All right, so up in Detroit as we head to a commercial here in Washington. Up in Detroit, score 4-3. They're at 5.5 to go in the game. Been a bit of a wild ride. Detroit ended up going up 4-1 at one point before the Hurricanes managed to claw back 2 goals. Empty net goal. Yep. Oh, Detroit just missed on the tip to possum. Jesus. Yes, I agree, sir. I do not know why he didn't just skate that in and try and shoot it. He had all the open ice all the way to Kochetkov and threw it across the ice into coverage. I don't understand that move. But, hey, Detroit's winning, so, whatever. But yeah, he like I said, dude, it would be ultimate to have him hat trick. Yep. I guess you're pretty excited, huh, Mercs? He's back on the ice. I said, dude, I want him to hat trick. That way I don't have to watch Washington anymore. He gets the Hattie. Gretzky's there to watch it happen. Like, all of that just sounds like very excited, yeah. All right, a little bit of back and forth here as Chicago enters the zone. Puck goes to the board. Washington right back out the other way. That was a little bit of grabbing the stick from Wilson, but okay. Really tried. I've not been home since 5 this morning. Went to work, then from work to the rink, and I'm so tired. Yeah. Oh, dude, I feel you, man. Hey, you'll sleep like a baby tonight, I hope. And it's the weekend. I don't know what these guys are yelling for. I didn't see a penalty there. That looked incidental. Yeah, all the excitement. You'll finally get home, get that adrenaline dump, and pass right out. Chicago throws it deep underneath. Doesn't get all the way around. Chicago keeps it in, but not long enough. Washington headed the other way from the high dot. Off of Knight's glove. Uh, okay, Lindgren's going to glove it and ice it. 7:49 to go in the third. Looking. Dude, Carolina and Detroit are going at it. You got 2:40 to go. Give it a second. You got 2:30 to go in the game. Chekhov should be coming off the ice relatively soon. Carolina controlling the Detroit zone. Puck goes way up high and wide off the shot from the point. And you got an icing, so Chekhov should be going to the bench. As we go 6-on-5 with about 2 minutes to go. Yeah, I am behind you. So, or I'm behind the main feed by like 40 seconds because I had to use an alternative feed. Washington controlling. He's not on the ice at the moment, though. Washington gets it down behind the net. Caps all the way across to the high point, down to the high dot, all the way across. Good save Knight by a one-handed tip up front by Leonard. All right. Carolina has the empty net. Controlling in the Detroit zone. I hate this time of year because my nose is stuffy as hell. Ooh. Talbot fights off the shot. Now Detroit gets it. Red Wings headed up the ice, hit the red line. And a diving save to prevent that from going any further. Taking my eye off Washington real quick because we got less than 70 seconds to go in the game in Detroit. Carolina controlling. Low point. Low dot on the low wall. Bringing it out. Low dot. Just cycling. Big shot, but he hits a body right out in front of him. Too casual with the pass, but it's going to end up. Yeah, Carolina just playing a little too casually with less than a minute to go in an empty net. I don't understand that decision making right there. All right, I'll be glued to the game again once Ovi's on the ice, but we only got 30 seconds up here. Shot by Carolina. Talbot fights it off. Low point. Another shot. Hits bodies out in front. Detroit ends up with it. This one should be a goal. Carolina does a good job fighting it off. It goes wide of the net. 7, 6, 5. Last chance. Detroit cuts it off, and that one's over. They got an empty net right before it ran out, so it's going to be a 5-3 win, Detroit. Okay, Ovi on the ice. Yeah, the refereeing has been atrocious in this game. Dang! I thought Ovechkin had it right there. It looks like he just went and bitched to the ref, but I thought he had it right there. Chicago clears it. Counting down to 4 minutes to go. Chicago ices it. That was a great job by Knight to just ride out his pad all the way to the post. And then, I'm not Kerchinski, I think that's how that reads. He did a hell of a job fighting off and protecting the backside of the net to stop the wraparound. All right, so quick update on the score. Islanders are up on the Wild 3-1. And Detroit wins 4-3 over Carolina. Dard making a nice little play. 2-1. Oh, he just couldn't get the pass across. Good sticks. Oh, but a quick shot. How is that not blown dead? How was that? Dude, he held on to that puck way too long for it not to be blown dead. Chicago reset in 3:30. Shots are 27-21. Ooh. Yep. Be cooler if he got it, but yeah, I'm sure that's where he'll get it. 100%. Well, not 100%, but I'm sure that's where he'll get it. Like I said, hat trick in front of Gretzky to break his record. Just do it all. That was a hell of a dude was doing great right up till he got between the dots and then he lost the puck. But besides that, that was pretty good moves. Chicago keeps it in. Low dot, low wall. Gets it up to the low point. He's going to take it up the wall. Cut towards the middle. Backhand it. Not able to get there. Lindgren stops it. Should have been a little bit more of a give and go. Shot from the high dot. Lindgren there to knock it away again. Lindgren looking good in net, even though he's given up 3. Will do. I got you, Mercs. Bedard gets in. Chicago controlling on the low wall. Point. Low dot. Down low in the corner. Low point. Someone's got to get the puck to the net, fellas. Washington has it. They just got loud. That was too many men. No? Empty net, merch, empty net. It's going to be icing. Chicago has pulled night. We are officially on Ovechkin breaking the record watch. Blackhawks timeout with a minute 43 to go in the third. Faceoff is in the Washington zone. Taking a look. Islanders, Minnesota. Not a whole lot happening up there. Islanders are up 3-1. Let's keep Ovi out high. Dude, Minnesota's defenseman have had a couple of good stops. Clearly not enough, but they've had a couple good stops on breakaways. All right. Ovi is not on the ice yet. Nobody made a play. What was that from Chicago? Ovi was not on the ice, so he's not getting his empty netter, but unless Chicago gets ballsy, but what the hell was that from Chicago? Dude, Chicago won the faceoff, and then number 55. Who is that? Levshinov? They always have hard names when I want to call them out. Dude, the puck face-off was won. It goes off the wall. The guy backs out. Like, just decided he didn't really need to go get the puck. So the puck just kind of meanders around. And the Capitals guy was like, no, I'm going to go get the puck. Oh, Ovechkin wouldn't have scored that. Like, he would have had nothing to do with that. Even if he was on the ice, he would not have had anything to do with that goal. That was Leonard hustling his ass off to get the puck up the ice. So Ovechkin would have still been standing down on the dot. Like, he's not quick enough to have anything to do with that play. And I'm pretty sure that's why he wasn't on the ice. It was going to be, all right, let it get down to like 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and then put him in. But the Chicago Blackhawks just, and it wasn't even all of them, it was just number 55 decided, yeah, I don't really want to play anymore. And he just made a very lazy play. Ovechkin goes off a night. Puck out of play, face off in the Minnesota zone. That's two more shots that Ovi had. Yeah, right? He's in. He's in. And they are trying to get him the puck. Like, they're doing everything they can to get the puck. And dude, Knight is being impressive to not let it go in so far. Come on, let's see Ovi score. And they clear it all the way out. Less than a minute to go. Chicago gets it deep. Puck comes out. Washington has it. Ovi up the low wall. We got less than 30 seconds. Chicago's going back the other way. It's not happening tonight. Wait. That's got to be too many men on Chicago. Glove save. That's got to be too many men on Chicago. Bro, if I'm Knight, it's bad enough you tied it on me. I ain't giving it up to you. He's had a couple of great opportunities since the empty netter. It's been wild to watch. But I guess we're watching the next Washington game, man. Yep. All righty. So we sit with Ovechkin tied at 894 goals. Yeah, he ain't going to want it. He would take it. He's taken enough of them, but he doesn't want it. Brandon Miller, he's going to want empty net for the record. Okay, I did just read that. Yeah, Brandon, he's not going to want it, but he would absolutely take it. Like I said, he's had enough empty netters to add to that record, so it ain't nothing. And Thursday night breaks it. Dude, I was really hoping that he would hat trick because that would have just been, again, I said it all stream. I'm not, I have nothing but respect for Ovechkin, but I'm not necessarily a fan of his. I am not a fan of the Washington Capitals. However, I absolutely had to be here to watch that game. There's just no way. To see, history happen, gotta watch it. And then, so the plan right now, their next game is on Sunday at 9:30 a.m. against the Islanders. I 100% plan on being here for the record, which means I will be here at 9:30 a.m. for the Capitals at the Islanders. All right. So, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Tomorrow, got a couple of things going on, so I don't know if I'll be here. I may hop on at 9:30 just to have a double header tomorrow. So we'll watch the Rangers and the Devils, and then the Knights and Calgary at 7. Rangers and Devils are at 9:30, but I'm going to score the break and go away, though. True. No, I'm with you, but it's going to happen when it happens. You know what I mean? So I'm sure everybody wants it in Washington, but it'll happen when it happens. I'm sure it'll happen against the Islanders. I'm just willing to bet New York's going to give them a power play or two. But yeah, so tomorrow there are a bunch of great hockey games on. Unfortunately, they're all on around 12, 1, all that. And so I'll be at the gym. But this sounds easy if possible, maybe a little Pittsburgh too. It may be next week, but it's the next couple of days are planned out. So just because most of the games are at like noon and 11 and 4, I don't feel like going back to back, stuff like that. So like I said, tomorrow may only be one game. It may only be Golden Knights at Calgary. May add another game in early, the 9:30 Rangers Devils. But Sunday we will be here for at 9:30 for Capitals Islanders, and then 7 o'clock for Vegas Vancouver. So we got a bunch of hockey we're gonna be here for. Like I said, at least 3, if not 4 games between Saturday and Sunday. So. But we'll see how it works out, Mercs. Like I got no problem with watching the Pens. It's just all about the scheduling. So we'll see how next week goes. Yeah, hey, like I said, I'll do 9:30 Sunday, but it's hard for me to work in that schedule. The only reason I'll be here 9:30 on Sunday is because it's the record. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, man, I never guarantee anything. The Golden Knights games, I put a lot more of a gonna happen on it, but I will never guarantee anything. So I'm gonna do the best I can, man. But all right, brother. Take care. Yeah, head home. Drive safe. Get some good rest, buddy. And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night.